All right, welcome to the third video of this going from Ortho to Iso playlist, I guess. So I'm not going to go over the steps again, but I will be using the steps to complete this. If you want to look at the other previous videos, it kind of outlines the steps. But what we're trying to do here is we're trying to go from an orthographic drawing, which has our plan, front, and right, and we're trying to make it into an isometric. Okay, so just following my steps. I'm not going to write them again, but just following my steps. The first thing that I always want to do is I want to do what? I want to put in my compasses. Okay, so I'm going to put in my orthographic compass, which is my north, south, west, and east. And remember that compass ties into only the plan. And if we want, we can put in our ones for our front and right side view, which is left, right, up, down. Doesn't hurt to label these views as well. Plan, front, and right. Okay. I'm going to also put in our compass over on our ISO compass. Okay. And we always assume north is up and to the right unless otherwise stated. Okay, so we got our compasses out of the way, and then the next step is going to be, we're going to start with the plan view. Okay, so in this case, we have one of the keys is the starting point. We can start here, we can start there, or we can start here. The only wrong answer, really, in my opinion, is starting at this end. Okay, because we want to start where the pipe is closest to us. And we know something happens here where this pipe is going down. And so all this pipe right here is at a lower elevation than this whole run of pipe. So I just find it's going to be a lot easier to start from either of these ends. Okay, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go ahead and start at this end. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a piece of pipe, and what direction is it going this way? Okay, what direction is that? According to this orthographic, it's going from south to north. So all I got to do is I got to go over here to my ISO paper and I got to draw a line going south to north. So I'm going to draw that. Okay, so there's my south to north line. And then in that middle, the middle of that piece of pipe, what is a circle with a line going all the way through it? That usually represents a back of a T. And sometimes that's a little bit tricky, but we're just going to go ahead and draw what we think it is first and then double check with our other views. So we have the back of a T, which if we're on a plan view looking down, if we see the back of a T, that means that pipe is going what direction? It's going down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my pipe going down, which looks like this. So halfway on this piece of pipe, we're going to go down. So I'm just going to go ahead and go down. Okay, so that takes care of this pipe and the back of a T. Okay, and now what direction does it go this way? Okay, it's going from west to east, west to east. So at that piece of pipe right there, we're going to draw a line going west-east. And if I look over here, west and east is down and to the right. So I just complete this one like this. Okay, and now I've drawn everything I can from the plan view. Okay, so we've drawn everything we can from the plan view. What is our next step? Our next step is to double check with our other two views. And I usually try and keep it, consistent. Plan, front, and then right. So I'm going to start with my front view. And I'll go ahead and draw our stick men in here, or stick people in here, just to help us. Left, right, direction they're looking. Okay, what do we see right here on our orthographic of our front view here? We have a circle with a dot, meaning that there's a pipe or an open end of a pipe. Okay, and that's exactly what we see here. We have an open end of a pipe, so that's perfect. We don't see any of this. We don't know what's going on here, but that's okay because we were able to draw it with our other two views, so that's fine. We see the open end of a pipe, so we see it right there. And then we see a pipe going down. Do we see a pipe going down? Yes, we do. And then we see a pipe going this way, which is left to right. Is this going left to right? Yes, it is. So that checks out with that drawing. So that's great. And then the last thing would be to just double check with the right side view. And I always recommend taking the time and double checking with both views because you never know if you're missing something from a drawing. So I'm going to go ahead and draw stick person in here again, put my arms on the same plane. Okay. We're looking this direction. Okay. At the bottom of the pipe, what will we see here? The bottom of this ISO, what do we see here? We see an open end of a pipe. And is that right? Yes, it is. Circle with a dot. Okay. So we see a circle with a dot. We don't see any of this pipe. Okay. But then the pipe goes up. Yes, it does. And then we see a symbol for a T, which these symbols say that there's nothing hidden. We see everything here. And is that right? Yes, it is. So great. So we've drawn the correct isometric. The last step then is to just finish with our fitting lines. So we have to put our fitting lines wherever there's a fitting. And we know that this pipe is joined with a T and this is a 90. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fitting lines that we need to add. Keep in mind the rule of thumb, our fitting lines need to be parallel to the pipe it's joining. So this pipe is running horizontal, okay, which means this fitting line down here has to be the same way. So we're just going to draw a horizontal fitting line. Vertical, which means these two have to be vertical. Okay, that takes care of our T. Okay, and then there's a pipe here, and then it gets joined by a 90 here. Okay, again, rule of thumb, make sure our fitting lines are parallel. Okay, so this pipe is running at this direction, which is west-east. We have to make sure that our fitting line is the same. Okay, and then this is a vertical piece, so this fitting line is going to be vertical as well. Okay, this is a common mistake that I see with some students. They think that these have to be the same, and that does kind of make sense, but just keep in mind it has to be parallel to the pipe it's joining. So don't be discouraged if you see fitting lines that don't look the same on the same vertical piece. Okay, so just keep that in mind. All right, I think that's good for this video, getting a little bit harder of an ortho to ISO, and I'm going to try and pick another example for the next video. Thanks.